What's going on YouTube? JT Jaborn here, and welcome back to another edition of my Godzilla comic book reviews. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about Godzilla War for Humanity, issue number 2. This one is written by Andrew McLean with artwork by Jake Smith. And the artwork, once again, stupendous. This is a very unique style, something I'm not really all that familiar with this artist's particular work, but my God, does it really work for a Godzilla comic book. I absolutely love the art style. The way you get to see the various facial expressions on the kaiju, the way the colors just pop. It's like, it kind of reminds me of watching something and this kind of weird analogy, but it's like Technicolor. You know how Technicolor kind of pops off the screen? This one, I mean, these are such heightened colors, and just the style, it just kind of meshes so well. And the action all looks really good too. And the character facial expressions and kind of the little mannerisms you can see on display with the Titans or kaiju or whatever you want to call them, all looks really, really good. So anyways, last issue I thought was pretty solid. It was an interesting start. We got introduced to an all-new kaiju known as Zoospora, and we had a couple of characters here. We had this little super rich tech guy who created Moguera. We were following a girl who, as a child, was saved by Godzilla, so she thinks of him as kind of a savior of humanity of sorts. And then, like I said, all sorts of other stuff's going on. These people are studying the various kaiju that are going around the world. Some of their patterns are kind of irregular, if you will. On the one hand, some were acting fine, then all of a sudden they go berserk, and then you have this other Titan Zoospora who comes in, who's seemingly kind of the cause of it, which we do kind of find out what this kaiju is more so capable of in this chapter. So let's go ahead and quickly summarize what happens in the issue. So, like I said, Zoospora shows up, a pretty unique looking monster, definitely feels reminiscent of Biolante, but still very much its own thing. It gets into a fight with Anguirus. Anguirus tries to fight back, but unfortunately he kind of gets infected by something within, Zoospora kind of vomits this material out of its body into Anguirus in a way, and that kind of changes Anguirus from being a bit of a docile creature to a more heightened and aggressive creature that wants to just destroy everything. So it's like Zoospora's infecting everything around him. They do kind of describe him as a bit of a virus, or him or her, I don't know what Zoospora is. They do describe Zoospora as a bit of a virus infecting everything around it and just going through and just annihilating everything in its path. So that's what we got there. And when Anguirus is getting his ass handed to him, because that's generally what happens with Anguirus. Love Anguirus, but I mean, he kind of almost never wins fights on his own for the most part. The rich tech guy, Mr. Fulchek or whatever, who had the crazy name in the last issue, he unleashes Moguera. And one thing I really do like here, this is a nice little Easter egg nod to Jet Jaguar, one of my favorite characters, is that the pilots for Moguera that are controlling him are all dressed up in these suits that look like Jet Jaguar outfits. I thought that was a nice little Easter egg touch, if you will. But of course, we also come to find out that aside from the action and all that's going on, Anguirus gets infected, and then when the humans try to fight, they're attacked by Anguirus, who's now under the control, if you will. You can kind of see in his eyes, it's like he's being mind controlled by Zoospora, who's just vomiting up all this gunk that's able to kind of control Titans or kaiju, and also people as well, because even the people who are under kind of possessed by him unleash holy hell on everyone amongst them. But so while that's going on, our main character Honda, she goes and this kind of explanation kind of pops up out of nowhere. She tries to find a means to kind of communicate with Godzilla, wants to understand what's going on with him. Why isn't Godzilla showing up and take care of this thing? They're this kind of happens a bit abruptly. They come to find some weird talking head thing that lets them know about what the kaiju are thinking, why they're doing things the way they are. Just kind of an explanation for what's going on here. Humans are a pest, and Earth a virus, a plague. The humans know only consume blah 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 blah. Humans are bad things. Zoospora is just there to kind of unleash holy hell on mankind, and that's why it's controlling Gorosaurus, Manda, Anguirus, all this other crazy stuff going on. It also says that Godzilla's off doing his own thing. I don't know what this thing is. This thing kind of really randomly weird. It's got this creepy looking face and all these little tentacle tendrils around it, if you will. It's a very bizarre looking creature thing that's just kind of abruptly in this cave. Like I said, this part of the issue kind of comes rather abruptly. I'm just kind of wondering what even is this thing? Was this thing in another Toho movie that I'm not familiar with, or is this something kind of new entirely? Like I said, it's got that creepy looking face that feels like really reminiscent of, like, God, what's his face? Like Peter, it's got like that Peter Lorre looking face that you'd seen like those old animation styles. But yeah, so also like while this is going on, the Shoijin like randomly show up in this thing too. Like they abruptly show up in this thing too, and they talk about how Godzilla is the reason he's not there to stop the Zoospora thing is he's on Monster Island protecting Minya, which we did see at the end of the last issue when Ebera kind of showed up, but I think Ebera is probably either dead or left away because, like I said, Godzilla's there to protect his son, which, like I said, is one of my favorite aspects of Godzilla is being this father figure, which I feel like has been really like neglected within Godzilla media for quite a long time, like whether it's comic books, especially movies. I mean, my God, it's been 20 years. Why can't we get Godzilla again? But I also like too how Mothra is trying to like get Godzilla into the fight. Like she literally tries to drag his ass like out into the ocean just so we'll kind of get things done and kind of take care of this problem that's going on. And you also have like some like great facial expressions from Minya and that like he's trying to hold on to his dad. It's honestly some really funny stuff. And then like I said, it sets the stage for a fight in the next issue, if you will. But all things considered, I did really enjoy this thing. Like I said, there's some kind of things that feel abrupt, like that weird talking face thing. Like, is that something from like another Toho film that I haven't seen? Because it just kind of randomly, abruptly pops up, and it's just kind of weird. It's creepy looking, and it's just, they kind of like, you're like, okay, we're gonna go to this thing. Like, wait, what? Like, this seems like a really large discovery. Like, why aren't there like scientists around this thing at all times? That just felt kind of abrupt. And of course, the Shoujin just pop up like so abruptly out of nowhere. I guess they were kind of following these people or wanted to go to this thing. I don't know how it all works. Like, it just feels kind of random and by coincidence. Like, those are the only two bits in the issue that felt a little bit off to me. But again, like, it's just so weird and kind of out there. Like, that's just kind of like the core for like that's just kind of the norm for the Godzilla series, if you will. Like, all sorts of weird, random, crazy stuff tends to happen within it. So like I said, it's like nothing too outlandish. Right? I mean, it's Godzilla. I've seen so many crazy things throughout, so I just kind of have to roll with the punches and accept it. But like I said, the highlights for me, like I said, are the artwork. I do think the Zoospora monster is a unique one. The fact that it's able to possess humans and like kaiju makes it like even more of a threat because, like I said, it just keeps like turning people, if you will, to like its army. So I think that's kind of cool. Getting a bit of Dadzilla in this thing where he's the overprotective father. Like I said, I've really missed that in Godzilla media. It's something I want to see like adapted in more of the movies again. It's been 20 years since Final Wars at this point, and we still don't have any more like movies with Godzilla really being like a father figure, if you will. So like that's something I feel like we're really missing. And of course, like the ending bit with kind of Mothra like dragging his ass into the ocean, you get like Minya's like facial expressions. That to me is my favorite part of the issue. So I like those aspects to it. So yeah, like I said, I'm enjoying this War for Humanity storyline. Like I said, the artwork is really unique. It pops. Like you get the good facial expressions with the kaiju. They're so expressive, and the colors just like pop off the page. I know I've kind of stressed this a couple times, but like I said, it all looks really good. So I'm enjoying this thing. I think it's a fun storyline so far, and we only got 3 more issues left to go, and I'm excited to see like what happens next. But yeah, if you have any thoughts on this particular issue or this series overall, let me know what you thought of it in the comment section down below. Be sure to like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel for more content, the bell for notifications, all that other fun stuff. And I will be back again at some point. Not sure what the next video will be. I have a few ideas linger on in my head of like some things I want to try to do for the channel this week, but only time will tell. But anyways, as always, take care now. Bye bye then, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace.